Here we go. So I'm going to share just my remote desktop session. So I'm going to share. Just okay. How does that work? I think that did it. So now I'm going to change the mouse back to default. It's heck being left-handed, let me tell you. Okay. How's that? That works. Okay. I'm going to mute this. There. I muted my client, but not my audio, I hope. No, it says live, so I'm muting live. Okay, now what? So I should be able to speak through the Facebook session. Or actually, the Zoom should be recording this. Oh, okay, so I see it is ticking up on the actual recording. Great. So I'm at Methodist Hospital. Melanie's in her last pulmonary rehab appointment. So what I have is on my remote desktop, Hold on. I have all of the all of the problem children, the form reports, and the complex reports in a single workspace. And this is right now, this is on my F drive. I'm going to try migrating it to where we have been doing the work for the upgrade, the trigger upgrade, and see if I can open it from there. If I can, then Swati should be able to open it from there as well. So first thing I'm going to do is check the settings that I have just to make sure that they migrate along with it. So preferences. So I'm going to UAT2 as me. Swati will probably want to change that to her. Test connection works. I'm just going to test, not the original PO. Yeah, I am going to test it. No, I'm going to test the change I made, because here, that's the original. That's the one. Actually, I want to be in this one. So I think that is this workspace. Yep. Okay, local purchase order, but it doesn't have the suffix, the original on there. Oh, okay, and it's doing a compare between the two. I'm going to stop the compare. So what I'd done is I'd highlighted from the working copy, this total purchase order, excuse me, from this original to this working copy. And that's what we're seeing here. Working copy on the left, original on the right. And how I get this display is that's standard contract. That's purchase order. Okay. Okay, that says original purchase order. So I had physically opened that. So I'm going to shut that down now. And open up the one that I have localized. But again, if you wanted to compare these against one another, this is how you would do it. So I've got the new one and the original. Click on that. There we go. So I've got the working copy and the original highlighted inside the navigator. And I do a right click, compare with each other. And this was giving that display that we started with. Now I'm going to minimize this. And I didn't want to do that. Okay, brought it back up. So I'm going to minimize this. So what I did is I minimized the compare. And now I'm back in my working copy. And I've got nothing open right now. I'm going to open up purchase order. Here we go. So now with this change, and I'll describe what that change is again. So again, I put my most important items up in the top of the report parameters in its own separate container. And those containers are something you can move up and down to reorder them. But the system record ID, it's worth reading in the manual, the report manager manual, and BERT, how that is used by Tririga. It's pretty amazing. So right now, I've got all of the test cases to test everything in purchase order that might be changing. So what I did, and I'll go ahead and open up Tririga and explain. What I did is I logged into UAT. It's myself in the single sign-on. I went into Tririga under procurement, under requisitions and purchase orders, and under purchase orders. And I wanted to get updated test information. So I went up to this page 1170. There we go. And I used information from here, some of these service inventory parts and non-inventory parts, updated versions of them. And when I say I use them, let me go back. So for purchase order 703154, I'm just going to pull that up. $73,154. Okay. Well, this is how I located them. They may not be on this last page. I'm going to go ahead and enter that here. Okay, and that looks like an older order too. I'm looking for one that's actually says 2. I wonder if you can do this. I'm going to start with PO 2, then do a %. Nope, it doesn't like that. How about just that portion of it? Is that right? Is that what we had? Let me just check. So no, it's 107.315. Let's try that. So I'm going to highlight just this portion. Say okay. Go back here and see if that gets us what we want. So paste that in here. There we go. So got inventory parts, non-inventory parts, inventory parts, and services. So, and again, how that record ID and form reports work. We have a system record ID, and its value is actually the spec ID that is something you can obtain from Tririga when you drill into this order. And this display text is free format. You can put anything you want in there. This seemed to make sense to me, so that you knew what test cases you were using and playing with. So again, where the spec ID is, I'm going to drill in on this order, 3154, the non-inventory. So 3154, so click on that. Now this is everything that's going into the order. And up on the address bar, where you see spec ID, that's the value that we copy and paste in here to drive this whole shebang. So I'm going to change my default to this one. And again, for a form report, it only operates on one record at a time, but you can put all of your test cases in here in this list box in order to test and do regression testing. And now that I've got that default set, I'm going to go ahead and change this back to is required. It should default to this one and bring that up. And I'm going to test it by doing direct to PDF. So for all form reports, I would recommend doing that as the acid test or the litmus test, that it must appear as it does in that PDF, your changes. And I'm doing that. And it does come up here with a prompt, but it's the one we want. I'm going to go ahead and do OK. And it should go ahead and generate that 3154 in a PDF. And it does. And what I do, again, for regression testing is I save them actually right in the workspace under a doc folder under the same project that it is found in. So this is our working copy. So in theory, there's a backup copy in the source copy of this purchase order that we can compare against. So now I've already generated these, but I'm going to save it again. So this was generated a couple of days ago. I'm going to save right over the top of it. Say yes. So now we have that in place. And I'm going to save that one more time as and suffix it with the name of the workspace, which is 2023-08-21. Okay. So I've got that saved. And then I'm going to shut this down. And a nice value or feature of this, I think, is that all of these items that are open, they'll remain open unless you shut those perspectives. So each and every time you open it, if you want, all of these will come back and you can come in here and noodle. But when you do a restart, it will shut down everything and then reopen it again with that same set of perspectives that you had open. And there they go, they're opening up. And each of those separate perspectives I've opened up in a maximized mode just so it uses up the whole real estate. Okay. And again, if we float over those, there's the purchase order that we've been working on, I believe. We know that in the data structure, Data Explorer under miscellaneous, rather than a single value for system record ID, we had this set, which again, we still have. And I saved a copy. I ran the report and suffixed that name with the suffix name of this workspace. Now, I'm going to shut this workspace down. And I'm going to copy that to a separate workspace. So that was okay. I'm going to go in here and change this slightly. So show heap status is this value at the bottom. So you can see how much memory you're using in the heap. IBM Tririga, the COM control values to connect are here. And report design. Data set editor. This is where you change the value of the default set of data being returned by a query. This is for any and every query. And on preview, see where it says external browsers here. Always use external browsers. I've got that checked off. And if you click on the web browser link, you see I've got use internal web browser. And that's the Eclipse internal browser, which again, makes sense for most things. Okay, so that said, I'm going to shut this workspace down again. But first, see where we've located it. It's on F documents. And I think what I want to do is put this under public on my machine, and then we can access it. So see, I'm not seeing it in here. Workspace new. I'm not seeing it in there. So why would that be? Click other. Ah, there we go. That's how we get this up. And there's my recent workspace. And that should be in the list, but maybe because it's just so long, it doesn't appear. Copy settings. I do not know what these mean. But I want this setting now. Now, if I click OK here, what happens? Again, the last one that was opened opens here. So it is in the right spot for the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this entire workspace called 2023-821 to 2023-831, which is today, and see if I can open it from the public folder. Okay. So I'm going to Explorer. And now if I click on quick access, does it show me quick access on F? This PC on F. Okay. It's under documents. That's my home drive on F. Now I can't remember whether I was using this underscore documents or not. F. I don't think I was. So it should by rights be here. I'm going to go to quick access. There I see the PDF I generated. I see Google Drive, interesting. Yeah, I don't see the workspace in the list of recently opened files. So maybe it's not considered recently opened. But I know it is on my F drive because I saw that. So I'm going to drill down from there. So I'm going to this PC. I'm clicking on my F drive and I'm drilling into documents. Actually, should be drilling into users, Beam, 12, Eclipse. No, back here again, documents. No, I'm expecting to see a zip file here. Hmm. Okay, why don't I see it? Okay, I'm gonna open it back up again in Eclipse, where it expects to find it, where it expected to find it last. So by default, it's going to open up the last workspace. And it looks like it is doing that. Okay, so now if I go here and I click on workspace, switch workspace, it says interesting. It says here 08/21, new 2023 08/21. But if I look in my list, I don't see that anywhere. I hit other. Ah, so it is under my user documents under 12. It's called this. So I'm going to copy it from there and see if I can go directly to Explorer and copy it again. Actually, DOS. Okay, so now I'm as Beam. And if I do a dir on that workspace, it is indeed there. And you can see all of the open projects in it. So now what I want to do is copy it from here to public and see if I can open it from public. And if I can open it from public, then I'm thinking I should be able to, and that's public on my C drive. Swati should be able to open it. So I'm going to copy from here to users. Beam. Where is public? Would it be under documents public? Okay. Where's public? So I'm doing, it's on my clipboard still, that to public. And that's a folder, but I don't know if you have rights to it. Okay. Back to Explorer. We know where it exists in Explorer. Let's open it there. So I'm going to say, don't do that. And I'm going to just say Explorer. First go to F, change to that folder. Okay, so now I'm in that folder. And I'm going to go up one from it. So this should be all of the workspaces on my F drive. And they are. And I'm going from this one to the public folder. And how will I do that? I'm going to go Explorer dot. So I open it right here. That is documents 12. And there we have it. And if I do a float there, I was expecting to see, again, my 0831 workspace. Oh, there it is. So now I'm going to copy that. To public. So this is not just me, but all users. And there's public. There's me currently. So I'm going to paste it in right at the top of that public folder. There we go. And there it is. So now I want to open here. And then Swati would do the same and see if she can open it. So I'm going to say, okay. I'm just going to exit here. And see if it copied everything in there, including the project folder, so that when it opens it in the correct perspective. Let's see. So here's documents. Here's documents. This PC. Documents. Where's public? See, it's a little weird. Doesn't show up here. What happens if I go to C, this PC, C, users, public. Still not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Let's see. I'm going to try opening this up from here. So see. Okay. See users public. See users. Public. So change directory to see users. Change to public. Now, if I do my workspace, there it is. Okay, so that's what I'm going after when I open up Eclipse, public, and this workspace. So I don't have Eclipse open now. I'm going to open it. And again, it defaults to the F. And that was all of my perspectives there. And I want it to prompt me again to open up my workspace with a prompt. So I'm going to change that switch workspace to start up and shut down. Confirm exit when closing last window. Refresh workspace on startup. Okay. So now I'm going to shut this down. Oh, since I made a copy of it. No, it should still remember that because that's for Eclipse. So it's my settings. And if Swati sets them herself, it'll be her settings. Okay, so now when I hit Eclipse, it should prompt me for what workspace I want. No, it's not. Oh yes, it's just loading up Eclipse. Nope, it's not. Okay. I'm going to switch workspaces and see if it shuts down all those perspectives. That's a good test as well. So switch workspace, other, and I'm going to browse. To see users, public, and there it is. And see what happens. So when I press OK, all of the perspectives that were open in F should shut down. And hopefully the same set open up on C under public. Okay, everything shut down. It's opening up Eclipse again. And it's doing it. Sweet. Sweet. Well, I'm going to stop this session and pack up and restart around 2:45. I wonder if, first off, do this test. So we, again, there's the new modified purchase order. And the default is still there. I think if I take this off, it should just generate directly here. Let's see. That's a good test too. So now generate the PDF. And it did. Great. Now I'm going to save this. But I'm going to save it with a little different suffix name there. I'm going to add the time. And it's 1408. Here we go. And I'm going to shut down completely and then compare those in Beyond Compare. They should be the same, should be identical. So that's the end of this demonstration. And I'll pick it up in a half hour, 45 minutes.